Hello sports fans, welcome to Super Sports Central. Today, we're going to be going over Week 6 USFL Power Rankings. So, briefly recapping Week 5, the Maulers beat the Panthers 23-7. The Gamblers knocked off the Stallions 27-20. The Stars beat the Generals 24-21, and the Showboats upset the Breakers 17-10. So, getting into my mid-season USFL Power Rankings, we have officially reached the midway point in the regular season. I'm not sure how, because this season seems like it's flying by, but we're at the mid-season mark. So at number 8, we've got the Michigan Panthers. So they find themselves at number 8 after 3 straight losses. The Panthers were non-competitive in the 23-7 loss to the Maulers. The offense was brutal with only 7 points, 152 total yards, and 2.6 yards of play. Now once again, the Panthers played 2 quarterbacks, Carson Strong and Josh Love, but neither really had success. Now the Panthers, they were solid defensively, and stand-up defensive end Breland Speaks had another great game with 2.5 sacks and 2 tackles for a loss. But the Panthers need to get things going in the right direction offensively, and their defense can only do so much when the Panthers' offense can't score. So the Panthers, they come in at number 8. Number 7, we've got the Philadelphia Stars. So the Stars got a much-needed win against the Generals 24-21, but they scored 24 points in the strangest possible way, because they scored all 24 of their points from field goals, because they kicked a field goal on 8 of their 11 drives, and kicker Luis Aguilar set a USFL record with 8 made field goals, and he also tied a pro football record with 8 made field goals. So the Stars did score 24 points, but their offense still wasn't good with just 166 total yards and 2.9 yards of play. And they were 0 for 4 in the red zone as well. So they definitely still have their problems, and they're very big problems because most of the time you're not going to be able to win football games by kicking field goals. Now, I know that this week you haven't, but it's still not really that likely. Now, the Stars, they are 2-3, and even though they've been brutally bad this season, they are still somehow in the playoff race because the entire North Division is 2-3. So the Stars, they enter at number 7, but I think they are very, very lucky to get the win this past week. Coming in at number 6, we've got the Memphis Showboats. So they move up 2 spots from number 8 to number 6 after back-to-back wins. The Showboats also knocked off the league's last remaining undefeated team in the Breakers, and they won 17-10. So their defense was great, holding the USFL's highest scoring offense to just 10 points. They also forced 3 turnovers. And their defense was a huge reason why the Showboats were able to get the win. And another big reason why is they held Breakers star running back Wes Hills to just 38 rushing yards, and they also held him out of the end zone. Now, the Showboats offense still isn't amazing, but they have been a lot better ever since Cole Kelly took over at quarterback. And now in Kelly's 3 starts, the offense averages 24 points a game, and the Showboats have a record of 2-1. So the Showboats still aren't a great team, but they're definitely getting better, and they find themselves climbing up to number 6 in my power rankings. Coming in at number 5, we've got the Pittsburgh Maulers. So they're really on a roll now after their 23-7 win over the Panthers. And they're like the Showboats because ever since they changed quarterbacks, which was 3 games ago, they have been a lot better. So for the Maulers, Troy Williams has been great in his 3 starts. The Maulers have a 2-1 record. And Troy Williams is also coming off a fantastic performance with 243 total yards and 3 touchdowns against the Panthers, as the Maulers scored their season-high 23 points. The Maulers' defense was elite once again, holding the Panthers to just 7 points, 152 total yards, and 2.6 yards of play. And the Maulers, they've been improving quite a bit in the recent weeks and could potentially find themselves in the playoffs if they can continue to play like this. Right now, they enter my rankings at number 5 after winning 2 of their last 3. Number 4 is the New Jersey Generals. They suffered a 24-21 defeat against the Stars. Now, they didn't allow a touchdown, which was great, but they did allow 8 field goals, and the Generals had a huge missed opportunity against a bad Stars team. So the Generals really had an opportunity to take control of the North Division, but the Generals' offense was disappointing. They only scored 21 points. Now, they ran the ball effectively like usual, but they turned the ball over 4 times and only went 1 for 3 in the red zone. Now, defensively, the Generals were great once again. They forced these Stars to settle for field goal after field goal, and 3 of their field goals were 50 yards or longer. The only thing is the Stars made literally every single one of those field goals. So the Generals missed an opportunity this past week. Their offense let them down, and the Generals dropped 1 spot to number 4 in my power rankings. At number 3, we've got the Birmingham Stallions. So they suffered their 2nd loss of the season as they lost 27-20 to the Houston Gamblers. Their offense was solid with 300 total yards, or a little over, but they only put up 20 points. Now, defensively, they could not stop the Gamblers' rushing attack and Mark Thompson, as they allowed 3 touchdowns, and the Gamblers to have 135 rushing yards as a team. So the Stallions are still a very good team, but a lot like the Generals, they missed an opportunity to really put themselves into one of the 2 playoff spots in the South Division. And now it looks even worse for the Stallions when you consider the fact that the Gamblers were playing with their backup quarterback. Now the Stallions, they were banged up as well, but still a missed opportunity for the Stallions, and they slide down one spot in my power rankings, finding themselves at number 3. Number 2, we've got the Houston Gamblers. So they have really turned their season around after starting off 0-2. They've now won 3 straight and put themselves into playoff contention. Now the Gamblers, they were without starting quarterback Kenji Bahar this week, but that wasn't a problem as Terry Wilson was decent. But the Gamblers really rode their ground game to victory as Mark Thompson had another tremendous game, 3 touchdowns and 78 rushing yards, and Thompson is now tied with Wes Hills for the league lead in rushing touchdowns with 8, and he's just played 3 games. Now the Gamblers' defense has also been improving on their 3-game winning streak, because in their first 2 games they allowed 29 and 38 points, but since then, on their 3-game winning streak, they've allowed 26, 16, and 20. So the Gamblers, they've definitely been improving overall as a team. Defensively is a big part of why they've been able to win 3 straight games. And after a massive win over the Stallions, they find themselves at number 2 in my power rankings. And at number 1, it is the New Orleans Breakers. So they suffered their first defeat of the season, losing 17-10 to the Showboats, but they still remain at number 1 in my power rankings. Now, they didn't have a great game, especially offensively. They were held to a season low in 10 points. Their defense was good, holding the Showboats to just 17, but their offense wasn't able to get anything going. They had just 2 drives of 50 or more yards, and the Breakers, even though they lost, they still remain at number 1 in my power rankings. So those are my Week 6 USFL power rankings. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, turn on notifications to miss their upcoming videos. I do my best to post as often as possible. Let me know in the comments if you agree with my rankings, disagree, and why. I do my best to post as often as possible, and I will see you in the next video.